Well, let's take a closer look and bring in our political analyst. Garrett Mason is a former Republican state senator and political strategist. Betsy Sweet, a Democratic political strategist. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So let's start broad in terms of the undecided voter, which is kind of the margin that a lot of this is looking at toward the election here. Was there a clear standout winner for that group of people? We'll start with Betsy.
I don't think there was a clear standout winner for, I think Jared had some very strong points. I think for women, his stance on abortion, I think he was a clear winner. He was a clear person who understands what it means to women. So on some issues, I think there were clear winners. Overall, I think Jared was running, saying, I am what I am. I'm working for the people of Maine. And to me, Austin's message was, I'm against Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 20 minutes for a lot of voters is what really mattered. It was the economy. It was how are you going to make the kitchen table issues better for everyday Mainers, and I think on that piece, Austin really shined. I think I will agree, Rob Caldwell did a great job with the debate tonight. It was one of the more enjoyable debates that we've been watching this year. But I mean, I think, there was a couple of things that really stood out to me, especially with Austin Theriault driving the energy point home, connecting it to table issues. And I thought it was interesting, I don't know if you caught this, it was a soft endorsement of nuclear power from both candidates, which I thought was a very, very interesting turn of events.
But not in Maine.
Ish.
Not in Maine.
Yes.
So that's a lot of little NIMBY thing going on.
Yeah. Observation didn't come up.
But I also think that one of the things we saw was that Austin said, about guns and about abortion, two of the key things that are in this race, as well as the economy, that they're state issues. They should be decided in the state. So then you got to wonder, well, then why are you running for Congress? Right? You know what I mean? I mean that's not totally fair, but those are big issues, and for women especially, and for parents and people who are worried about their kids' safeties, those are not state issues. Those are places where the federal government has to step in and has to take some action because it's not safe for people.
Well, I guess the only detraction I would say from that is Jared did take a position on the federal abortion item. And his answer was to codify Roe versus Wade, which is actually a less stringent position than the state position. I found that interesting, and I also found that, you might not like the answer, but the answer was leave it to the states. That's been the Republican position for a lot of people, and that was his answer.
Right, but we can't do that. I mean, for women, we can't do that. We've seen infant mortality go up. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that to death, but I think that was one of the biggest issues and changes. And I think the other issue was really about how are we going to balance the revenue versus the need, right? And I think Jared was really clear that we have to look at people like multinational corporations, billionaires who are not paying their fair share, who aren't paying enough, and so Social Security is at risk and other things are at risk. And Austin was just a blanket no. And so the question is, what do we do? What are we going to cut? Is he going to cut? I mean, he said he wouldn't go to zero-based budgeting on defense. He wouldn't go to zero-based budgeting on Medicare. Those are things, there's not much left, so.
Yeah, and the other thing I found just generally about the debate tonight is, Betsy and I were talking off screen about just how close this race is going to be, and a couple of write-in votes in this race could mean the difference between a ranked choice runoff or not. And I found it interesting. Jared Golden, I've known him for a long time. He was particularly on the defense tonight, which in our circles generally means that polling is tight. And so I think this is a race that's going to come right down to the wire. It's going to be super close.
It'll be one to watch. Thank you both, Betsy and Garrett. Appreciate you being here tonight. I'm sure we'll see much more of you in the weeks ahead. Of course, if you missed tonight's forum, you can watch our Voice of the Voter Forum in its entirety right on our News Center Maine Plus app. It is available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire.